if we're looking at black and white people, like white people get a group and you go to, let's say, a Sunday service in an all black church, and then they come, a small group of black people come to all white church, right? And then maybe there's some type of discussion or something like that. There's that kind of cross pollination that I think really helps with things, and I have never seen that, quite honestly. Like, it's really difficult to have that on reluctance on both sides. I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean, there's a reluctance in black communities to be in white communities.
Of
Um,
course, brother, because it costs. It costs us to to be in white
yeah, I
communities.
mean, and whatever reason, I mean, there's lots of reasons, right? But they're just like, I was just thinking about this today. I was like, man, I've been in so many white churches where it's always like, we have to go out and reach out to our, black brothers and sisters. Not so many, but I've been part of those churches where that's said, right? I have never once heard a black church, and I've been in a lot of black churches, to be like, we need to go out and reach out to our white brothers. I have never heard that in my years of going to black churches, right? Um, and so, like, you know, that's a hard thing to do, on both sides. And
I
so,
mean, I think in that context, right? Like black people were barred from going to church with white people. So like it makes sense that they would want to be welcoming black people in now, right? Like because now it's allowed and they're allowing it. But like for black people, we never stop white people from worshiping with us. Like white
that's
people
cool.
were always welcome to worship with us, right? So like I feel like I feel like that call to like welcome black people in, it's like part of this whole process of like trying to unravel the generations of racism that like the country has endured, but like not actually like dealt with. And so like it's just another aspect of it and it kind of infiltrates our entire lives. I feel like a lot of people have very a very limited conception of how deep the consequences of the
Oh,
establishment of a
right.
racial hierarchy go.
Yeah.
I mean, you do because you stepped
No, I
right
don't.
in.
I
Well,
mean, I'm ignorant
listen, I'm
just
sure
as
that you have
much,
a much better understanding having had those conversations that you had
Yeah.
because it's inevitable, I think. So, I mean, I am making an assumption, but like, having been through the experience you went through, I think it'd be very difficult for you to come out of the other end not having at least some idea of the
Right,
depths of
right.
the consequences of racism. Most people do not, like you said, they kind of just imagine black people, right? Or they take a image that is fed to them of black people and then they just do whatever they want with it, either just
Yeah.
accept it or manipulate it in whatever way they choose that has nothing to do with reality. And so it's extremely problematic, and you're right, we do need to create that, I think you said cross-pollination. I think we need to yes, we need to have these interracial gatherings. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that I'm trying to do right now, I use the money from my patrons to support events where hopefully we bring people together and we pay for food and drink. And everyone gets free food, everyone gets free drink. We just come there and we share food and we have a discussion. And that's it. And that is it, okay? Because open discussion is where, to me, curiosity blossoms.
Yeah.
And we don't have a space, again, to reiterate, there is not anywhere for people to go to have a discussion about this topic that's having an outsized impact on all of our lives. And so that's not an accident. That is on
No.
purpose. And ultimately anyone who chooses to create space for these conversations, and this is something I had to reflect upon before I even started this endeavor, like you're going to have to understand that it's not going to be accepted and there's going to be a lot of pushback. It's not just people's reluctance. People's reluctance is a consequence of the fact that it's extremely difficult to do that and there will be an enormous force that pushes back against you from trying to accomplish it. So, like, it's that's kind of the scenario. So I'm always looking for different ways to make inroads, to make progress. It's
Yeah.
been 3.25 years now of creating these conversations both live and in person. We've done panel events, the intersection of race in different contexts that were amazing. We've done a lot of amazing things, but ultimately, you've really kind of highlighted something that I've always thought from the beginning of my work, and you're just kind of like giving me fuel for that fire, which is experience, direct human to human contact. These things are critical for change. They are critical for growth. Like it needs to be. There's only so much you can accomplish through a video on YouTube or through like,
Yeah.
or even through, any other medium. Like there's no replacement for that human to human interaction.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really don't think for most people there is a space for them to have that in the race context. And
Yeah.
I would love to create that, and I'm willing to do it, but it's slow moving.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a very hard thing to do.